Who's gonna be first today? Oh goodness, it's a race out there. I see 20 people flying in, coming in. What are they gonna do? Are they gonna say good morning, Fridays? YS gets the first of the week and the first of the day. Good job, guys. Junior, very close second. Very close second. Props, good morning. Very, very close. Very, very close. But we need to talk about what's going on because in last night's video, we were talking about something like this happening and how there could be a trap early on in the week. Who's excited? Who thinks that this might be a bear trap? Who thinks that this is the real deal? Who thinks this might be a bear trap? That's what I'm wondering, okay, Jackal? That's what I'm wondering. But it looks like to me we're in a buy zone. We're heading down to a monthly expected move, and we have a weekly expected move down there, and something very interesting showing on the other side of this we're going to show off once some more people trickle in. But for now, we're seeing possibly a 2-hour signal, right? We were looking for this 2-hour. Now, this can take a lot of time, right? We might need to do some work down in this area, and we could take, 3 whole days to actually figure this thing out. But this is really what we're looking for. We're looking for us to create a very, very strong base here. And if things want to fall through the channel, awesome. We know that volatility is really coming back in. There's only one problem with volatility that I'm going to show you guys in just a moment. We see a rally into inauguration after this dump. Exactly, Jackal. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so nice. Oh, it's great. People thinking clear-headed. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, so the key thing is we were trying really, really hard to solidify this as a higher low. And I truly believe we were. The 30-minute here really looked like, hey, I wanted to cross up. You got a little mini head and shoulders in here if you look at the micro. It looked really good. But we're always open to the fact that, hey, it's the weekend and this didn't cross up, so the 2-hour can cross down to create that stronger base, right? If we want a good run into January of 2025, well, then you want a strong base. This all is to make a strong base. It really is at this point. Now, if it starts to really flush down, we'll pay attention to that, but for the most part, we can see solid loop down on the 2-hour, coming back down into the buy zone, weekly expected move in there. Can we see an upward move? That's the main things we want to be watching. Then after that, VIX. That's right. Yeah, maybe we'll be paying attention to a volatility play later in the week. Now, you're probably sitting there going, oh my gosh, volatility is booming. And I'm sitting here going, it's giving us a reversal signal, right? We're kind of getting a double top here from volatility. Now, this has not even come close to confirming yet, but I did want to show this off to you guys. The first 50 people that get in get to see this first, right? Look at that. That is really showing divergence, and that can curl down 2-hour charts. So the thing we're actually looking for bigger volatility to come in is if we make a 2-hour divergence right here on volatility, right? That would be something very, very big. But this would also be, if we're not going to make the 2-hour divergence right now, we could go all the way down to 12.12. And that's something that I'm more leaning towards for January. And then I'm going to look around, FOMC might be important, CPI might be important, those type of things. But for the most part, sup, PM? What's up, dude? Like to be end of January, Trump back to White House. Yeah, I think, and I've seen some crazy things over the weekend. You know me, I like to look around, and apparently the scientists are saying that we're gonna get bird flu, like we're gonna get bird flu, COVID. We're going to get, what other triggering disease type stuff, or like not disease, but what other triggering stuff that we need vaccines for that they could sell us could come out. And apparently it's all going to come out exactly on, get this, they pinpoint the day. I want you guys to guess. Hit 10K, let's go, Paul. I want you to guess what exact day apparently these big sicknesses are going to spread. What day? Well, the scientists are saying January 21st. So apparently, exactly January 21st, all of these diseases are going to come back or whatever you want to call them. I'm not a medical person at all. I don't know what the difference between disease and all that crap is. But I'm just saying, for scientists to come out and be like, hey, the day after someone gets inaugurated, that's when all these things are going to happen. Yeah, that kind of raises some red flags to me, right? Yeah, you have some of the most prominent COVID scientists out there saying that there's going to be a huge wave of, they listed off 5 different sicknesses, including COVID and bird flu, on January 21st exactly. So I don't know, man. I think the world's a weird freaking place right now. How about this? How about we get some sunshine, drink your vitamin C, and you'll probably be just fine. What do I think of Google and NVIDIA? First of all, wanted to point out once again, now that some more people have trickled in, just watch out for the signal here. This would say that we might be bottoming out for the SPY. 2-hour divergence is what we're looking for here. Qs, 2-hour divergence is what we're looking for here. And look at the Qs. Qs are already going to go make that divergence, right? We're already crossed over on the MACD for the 2-hour in negative territory. So it was very likely to head down from this area. And we're going back into our buy zone. So I think that's great. I can't even... the scientist that I saw who actually talked about it, he says he is one of the most unhealthy people. Like, he's addicted to junk food and just eats a burger every day or something. And I was just like, yeah, okay. Red day, well, I'd say it's probably a red day right now. And you are gapping below the daily expected move, which actually tells you a lot, okay? This does tell you a lot. So if we can't buy this up in the first, like, hour, 2 hours of the day, you're very likely to end up just doing this. It doesn't mean put money back, right? There's no real strategy around that unless you're maybe a day trader who's good at scalping in certain directions. But for what I see, I just want to pay attention if this 2-hour can curl back up. If this 2-hour curls back up, this is a pretty good floor, and you're probably going to make a move past here into January, just so you're aware. And you bought a lot of room up here, but just note, you guys, we have 2 days left as of right now, and tomorrow we have 2 days left for December. So we're probably not going to end outside of here, right? It seems like the options market is trying to get us to beat down. Then maybe we curl up a little bit tomorrow. Then going into Thursday, bam, then we can see some upside plays maybe. So that's what I'd be paying attention to. IWM holding up a little bit better, just so you are aware. Pretty good, actually. Now, the 30-minute for IWM was trying really hard to curl up, so we'll pay attention to this. Still looking pretty flaggy. We'll see what happens. Someone was asking about the Googs. Let's go look at the Googs real quick. Googs, if you really look at this, you probably could find a little something here. Probably need to look up a weekly expected move for some of these bad boys. And the truth is, I think on a lot of these charts, you're going to have some room, right? We're going to have some room to the upside and downside as of right now. GME actually flipping back to positive. So even though you thought everything was negative in the market, funny thing is GME actually positive. Interesting. Oil finding that floor, actually able to curl up on this 2-hour chart, back down in here, and boom, looking pretty good. Bitcoin, I wanted to call this out because I'm sure a lot of people are losing their minds with Bitcoin, and I'm going, well, you're right to be. So I marked off a line here that I see as important. Obviously, that would be a little zone. We can see how there's potential for a head and shoulders in this area. But what we want to pay attention to is, does this break? Do we get that curl up? Because you actually have a bunch of divergences here for the 4-hour saying the daily's about to cross up. So right as everyone gets bearish, we'll see how people are positioning going forward, and we'll keep an eye on volatility to see if this is crossing back down. See it starting to scale up. That's a problem. I think we were asking about NVIDIA as well. NVIDIA getting another test down here, actually gapping below 135. That is not the best sign, right? You really wanted this to start going positive, but maybe this will go positive by the end of the day. We'll figure it out. As of right now, the 2-hour, if we pay attention to this for a second, we notice that cross, so we could expect a little bit more work to be done. The breakout area obviously is this little box in here. So if we're testing anywhere in that area, it's kind of a good thing. But just note, this is turned down. If that starts to go negative, we can start to do this. But it's not necessarily something I'm leaning towards at this time. Meta, I did want to go check on Meta real quick. Look at Meta starting to gain some steam. Starting to gain a little steam here. If these things will load. Kind of need a MACD here, guys. All right, kind of need the MACD here. Need to see what the 2 hours looking like. What the heck? This is bullshit. This is a bullshit. All right, screw this chart. We're gonna look at Meta in a second. FFIE, look at that one. 42%. Wow, my short sale theory is actually I didn't think it would work this well. So the second one I took with the short sale theory was FFIE down towards. Let me look at this real quick. Down towards 124, now up to 259, so that's fantastic, and I'm watching my options go up by 800% right now, so Cool. Now I'm just holding on to this bad boy to see if something like last time is going to happen, to be honest. But pretty cool. All right, let's see if Meta wants to load. Meta ultimately looking if the daily can turn back up. The 2 hour here crossing back down. Not a good sign, right? In negative territory, not a good sign. This is a negative bar right now, but we're going down to an area where we could find that double bottom. We'll see what happens with this. The 30-minute might make a quick little divergence here. Look how quick that might be, which a quick little divergence is what caused that run. So maybe a quick little divergence here can make another one, and we'll find out, but that would be a higher low. Very interesting. All right, GME starting to flip negative, AMC negative, Microsoft dropping out of our buy zone. That is not a good sign for Microsoft. Microsoft really needs to buy this thing back up. Hold on 1 second here. 423. Dang, Microsoft still has room to the downside here. A little bit more room to the downside there for Microsoft. Very interesting. Getting rid of a lot of the signals here. So not a good sign for Microsoft. Not a good sign for Apple. Curling down on dailies is not a good thing, Apple. It's saying, oh, that might get ugly. So we don't have to create a base here is what a lot of charts are telling us. Now we have to be open to if that is created in the indices. We're seeing us tag that monthly expected move again and seeing that in the upward direction. As of right now, we're going to be like, oh no, can we wick up, right? This is what we're said upward direction, but what I'm paying attention to is if this can move up from this test, right? Just like we did over here. Cool. I like it. Man, I love this market vol. They're all a bunch of liars. Good morning, let's rock the VIX. I'm late, how are we looking? We're looking pretty good, honestly. Obviously, if you watched the video yesterday, then you're not surprised by this at all, right? We were talking a lot about, while this was even going up and it hit this area, we were talking about, hey, it could go make the stronger base, even before the drop happened. So we shouldn't necessarily be surprised. That's why I took a lot of my risk out right in this area. And that's why I'm like, okay, now I'm thinking about putting it back in, right? I tried to almost put it back in here, but we didn't get that 30-minute back up. And I'm mainly just looking at IWM. If that would have crossed up again, I probably would have taken this again, right? I kind of took a little something right here, took it off the table, getting it back in here. So we'll find out if that's actually going to happen. Because right now, the 2 hour looks like it could still cross, and the zone is deep here. Right, the zone is a little bit deeper there. Whoa, how high up is FFIE going? Because I am just making money off of this tiny little bet. Looking to get in a positive position on MSTR for a reversal. Well, we can go take a look at it and see if it actually, like I said, I mean, I'm just stating like, hey, yeah, Bitcoin, what did I just say? Bitcoin looks like it's trying to make a 4 hour base. You got to be aware of the risk of that head and shoulders, but it looks like it's trying to make a 4 hour base. So if that all produces, then what's probably going to go up? Well, it's going to be MicroStrategy. It's going to be MSTR, because the whole thing with MSTR is if Bitcoin goes up, MSTR goes up. So if this 2 hour, say, triple divergence, if you will, but not really on this point here, that's the bad part. This point right here is not making the divergence. Kind of a bad thing. But let's just assume the daily's able to curl up here, right? We're getting down to the 50. We're down by the center line. If this curls up, well, that still would suggest that if you get through here, you're very likely to test these levels. And maybe we do something like this, right? Maybe we do something like that to break through. That would be good for MSTR. I bought 100 of FFIE last month, thanks. Hey. There you go. That was the one I was paying attention to. I kept saying for a little bit, I was like, I'm interested in this. I'm interested in this. I'm interested in this. And it's popping. It's on and popping. I mean, I don't know what just happened with the options there, but yeah. So I think we're just relaxing. We're chilling. We're waiting for things to produce now. So it's going to be kind of a, honestly, it's going to be a lot of charts looking like this, right? It's going to be a lot of charts looking like this. It's going to be a lot of charts looking like this. But actually, the Qs are probably the better looking one because it actually came down to the point. The SPY you would like to go down a little bit lower. What is FFIE as a company? It is an EV car company. I believe. FFIE halted. That makes sense. Look at GME being all green. It was green. Is it green again? There you go. Well, what you need to understand it, the reason I'm paying attention to FFIE, by the way, is because if you go look at the dates here, so this right here is similar to this right here, right? The 32% up day. Very, very similar. And so if I take this date, what is that? That's May 13th. So if we look at May 13th and we go look at, say, GME, and we go look at May 13th, what happened on May 13th? Oh, that was the big gap up day. So it's kind of like I was interested to see if this was going to kind of be the same structure as last time. Because FFIE up 82% is very, very nice. So we'll find out. But yeah. MU here? No. Let's see if you're crazy, Short Fridays, because you're pretty crazy. Because your name's Short Fridays and you're coming on a Monday. What are you doing? What are you doing? No. So for MU, you're still looking for the same thing. You're probably looking for a daily reaction. Look at the great trade setup last time. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is what you love to see. Look at that daily. You go, oh, that crossed up. Let me take a position for 2 months. Bam, to the upside in a sell zone. Perfect sell. Comes down, goes back up. Maybe a 2-hour little swing here. Back in the zone. Perfect sell. Oh my gosh, another 2-hour swing down. Another 2-hour swing down. Perfect sell. Another swing down. Another swing up. Ooh, not a perfect sell that time. But, all right, let's see. Once again, look, it has the same look as pretty much the market. Now, you're not getting as clean of signals here. So that's going to be a little bit difficult, right? At least over here, you had those flat moves. Here, you kind of do, but it's just not proving here in the regular trading hours as much. You would like to see this prove some other way. So I want to look more like, is the 4-hour in a state where we can look at it? Not really. Yeah, I think for this one, it's kind of difficult. You could be making a 2-hour divergence. It's just not showing up cleanly. You would more so be leaning towards like using, hey, this is support. Are we getting a reaction from here? And then can we go back into resistance or resistance? That's all I can really say about this one. I don't think it's like the most clear one in the world. But I don't think you're crazy for thinking it. Like, I wouldn't say you're crazy because you're in a pretty good supply area here. And you've tested it multiple times. You're kind of just stuck in a range if you really want to treat it that way, right? I could draw another box right down here. So if I could draw another box right down here, then what are you doing? Well, you're getting reactions up, down, up, 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 down, up. You might end up doing that, but looks like one, for me, from how I see it, would be a little bit difficult of a trade, honestly. Weekly. Yeah, weekly just dropping off a cliff. Daily just cannot take back that 200. Look at that. You reject enough times, you're going to end up going down. Ooh, that's kind of sketchy, though. Yeah, look at the low holding well. Like these areas in here are just holding so well as resistance. So if I could break through that, that's when you're probably going to let loose, but just know you're holding it as resistance. Kind of hard to see on the 2-hour to see any kind of setup. Maybe if you did do extended hours, you could find something here, but even extended hours suck there too. So not going to be an easy one, unfortunately. GME is looking spicy. Now, the reason that GME, and I was really paying attention, I mean, FFIE is still doing its thing. Now, people selling it off because of the halt there. But doesn't matter. I am up 4,600%. Okay, now I'm only up 1,500%. Oh, now I'm up 2,500%. I'm letting it go though, guys. This was literally like $30 to $50. I'm letting it go to see if I can see that thing. So I'm gonna have some fun with it. I'll update you guys on when I actually do sold. No. I'm not. The thing is, Richard, it's not so much a play I'm trying to make money off of. It's a test for my theory, right? Now, if I was someone who really needed that, you know, $400 that's there, because that's literally all it's worth. I think I had $30 to $50, somewhere between that in it. Then it's like, this is just a test, right? This is just a test. So I don't need the $400. So I'm gonna go see if it can make $20,000. I'm gonna go see if it can make $20,000. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Yeah, Richard, it's just a theory that I'm testing, and I've used it with a couple big plays like Wolf and FFIE, and so far both have played out. SVIC hits 22 bucks, the rip off your face rally commences. Well, we just need to pay attention to volatility, and we'll get back over to the indices. This is not producing as of right now. We can go a little bit higher. That makes sense. So what we want to see is how are people positioning, and we'll see that in a few minutes. Maybe when that PCC comes out, we can see that intraday options and just be like, okay, so what's happening here? Are people really getting bearish? I'm assuming this will make people get bearish, and I think that was the goal. Because if you really remember down in these areas, I don't think people were like crazy bearish, and then this did not make people crazy bearish. This was a little bit. Actually, this first drop did, but this drop right here didn't make people that bearish. People still were buying a little bit more calls, right? That's why I was saying, oh, we're just a little to the bear side. You probably need to be more to the bear side. Okay, well, then you just drop it again. Now people shit their pants, and then they all maybe buy puts. We'll see if that actually proves here. Now, one thing that should scare you about this drop, by the way, just so you are aware, is the dollar. The dollar is not necessarily breaking down from this. We are noticing the yields coming down. That's good. But the dollar is still holding up. So that's where things get a little fishy. Just want to be honest with you guys. That's when it gets a little fishy. Oh my God. Wait, let's take a look at NVIDIA. Did it fill the gap? Perfect. Hey, there you go. All right. So now we're still just waiting. Hey, can this 30-minute give us the first sign of positivity? I mean, literally the positivity. Look at this. PCC at 1.25. So positivity can come in at any time and people will get ripped apart. But I'm still going to wait for the signals to say positivity is there. Look at this drop right now. If I was to buy calls, that would be crazy. It would be ballsy. It might be the right thing to do, but I'm going to wait until I see a reversal signal somewhere. And I do like IWM a little bit here. So if it can drop down, especially into a buy zone, I would really like that. Do I have the correct levels up for IWM? That way, because I know people are probably looking at this a little bit. IWM. I do have the, oh, nope, I don't. They're very close. That's why it's hard to see. We don't give this all the time on live video, but I'm paying attention to it today, so you guys can take a good look at it. So there you go. So you see how IWM could drop down into that zone for a brief moment. Tesla, ooh, still holding pretty well. Amazon, not really having the divergence there. AMD, hate you. I mean, all right, but I do think that Meta has an opportunity here to give you an actual divergence. Very tight, very tight. You see right over here, that's something I'm looking at. It's just tight on your regular trading hours. PCC now up to 1.28. Now, if the dollar was like dropping while the PCC was high, we would be pretty confident in saying, oh, trap. But we're not seeing that dollar drop yet. We are seeing a great reaction from the yields, right? When everyone thinks those are going to keep popping. Hey, what do we notice? TLT starts to make that turnaround. So that's kind of something we were leaning towards. Very good. If that starts to confirm up, ooh, that might be a problem. All right, let's stop clicking around so much, Lucas. Perfect. We made the divergence point. That's awesome. You gotta love it. I love this market setup. I told you guys right now, I said, if this right here, if this is the setup, and this actually does give you the 2-hour divergence, and you actually confirm, and then that turns up a daily, it is probably the best opportunity for 2025 so far, right? It's going to be the first good opportunity of 2025. And if we get volatility in for like all of 2025, I'm going to be a happy, happy boy. And you're going to hear videos probably. If things are very volatile, you're going to hear videos where I'm like, okay, this is going to make a move up. Like, okay, there's divergence here. This is a pretty strong base. We move up. And then like 2 days later, we could be like, all right, this is going to reverse back down. That's how it works. Pretty crazy. The weekly does look really bad. Yeah, and this is what we're paying attention to. So if you watched the video yesterday, we talked about this bar. This is not the best confirmation bar. This is already taking you outside the low of that bar, but we're still in the inside of trading here from the big bar, the big selling that came in. So what we're looking for is, does the week end negative and crossed below the 9, right? We don't want the green bar above the 9 like this. We want a red bar like this. And considering you're seeing, just think about it critically here, considering you're seeing it early on in the week, what do you think is more likely to happen? Are they just getting the options ready to close at higher levels by Friday? Or do you think they're just going to tank this through? Well, we'll find out, right? If this starts to break the channel, yeah. If this starts to lose the 20, yeah, we'll be safe, because that's where we'll be saying some scarier things, because that's where you get too far outside of the weekly expected move. So I think you're looking for a reaction early on in the week. If you don't get the reaction early on in the week, that's where you would be a little bit more shaken up. And that's why we practice patience, right? That's the whole thing there. I do need to go check on. I want to see. AMC, like IWM still has room to the downside, I think. That's crazy. Yeah, and IWM broke my line on my other charts. That means IWM has a very high likelihood to go to around 216. Oh, I gotta move this out of the way so I can read your guys' chats. There we go. Meta holding, and yeah, Meta was one that I still kind of liked. You can obviously see, hey, this would be bad to lose this, right? But we're looking for us to make that structure right around that 598.41, and it seems like you're trying to. If that is in some way, some kind of reversal or something like that, then you're probably going to see this broken, and you're not going to see this be able to curl back up, right? We're just going to see it tank. We're going to violate the divergence points. So that's something we'll be watching, right, in the main markets. Are we violating the divergence point? This point right here, are we coming below it? This point right here, are we coming below it? Look how deep that is. So I'd kind of be silly to be like, oh yeah, this is a crash moment just yet. But you're probably going to hear a lot of people start saying crash, especially even over the weekend. You're probably already hearing that with this gap down. But we just knew this was, hey, resistance, right? And we could go make a stronger base. Short QQQ. I mean, if you shorted QQQ up at the monthly expected move, you probably like this. But to short QQQ when it's potentially making double bottom signals, a little bit scary to do, I would say. And remember, just like on Fridays, it's much more likely to go it's more likely you can land outside of a move when you have not a lot of time left, right? So with a monthly move like this, if we saw some crazy upward move today and crazy upward move tomorrow and we land outside of here, that's still going to make sense because you're heading into the end of the month. But I'm not saying that has happened. It's just look at the Qs. The Qs have the best look. The best look because it's very plainly on your chart. So I like where it's very, very clear. Nvidia is flying. Wait, soaring, flying, soul? I don't fucking know the words. And good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to do a move here. I just can't really figure out what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be looking at this. This is definitely what I want to be looking at, and that's going to tell me if this has a good chance to start to get out of this zone. So we're just going to sit for a little bit. I can put it on 30-minute charts, but it's just, you know, sitting here watching a 2-hour isn't the most fun, but it is what we should be doing. we genuinely should be doing it, because if you get a 2 hour to cross like right up in here, then that is very likely to take you past here and here over the next week or so. Ever look at LPSN? I have looked at it before. Yeah, I've looked at this one before. Great upward move first off. Daily, solid little, trying to make a higher low. Kind of a double bottom with the wick, very nice there, but able to curl back up right here. A little bit of consolidation. Now you're seeing upside move as you're going positive, but it looks like a lot of people trying to sell this thing. Look at the bars. A lot of people trying to sell their positions in this thing over and over. So I'd be looking for the opportunity. If those sellers actually win for a moment, I'd be looking for the opportunity, right? To maybe test a breakout area or something, retest this 5 coming up. See that pull down, pull back up. That's mainly what I'd be looking at. Just if I always look at something assuming like, oh, I don't have a position in it yet, right? But if we look at this from the weekly scale, you kind of see the weeklies turning up. So we'll see if that ends up being positive. But this is more one I would be patient. Like I'm treating it like I don't have any money in this. Is this a good time to take it? Well, you're extremely overbought on a 30-minute. You're overbought on a 2 hour. Your daily is just starting to get overbought. So, you know, you can be convinced there, but you're kind of late to the move, right? The actual bar where you wanted to be like, yeah, I could probably give this a go is any of these in here. These are all positive, positive, positive. So any of these were the opportunity. And then maybe we make a weekly expected move and we see it touch that. But it is just getting started. We'll see if that can keep going. Good wick. But you can see people are trying to sell this thing. But they're failing. Remember that too. There's a battle between buyers and sellers in these bars. And right now, you would say sellers are kind of failing. The price is still going up. Yeah, just not the cleanest look there. And we're probably going to see a lot of stocks like that give a lot of confusing looks over the next few weeks. Like FFIE, like people are going to ask me about this. And I'm going to be like, yeah, look at the 30-minute. Maybe you get a pullback on the 30-minute, but it's like it's just rocketing. So, which is what I want to see. I just want to see that get up there, and I just want the cool thing there. You know what I mean? I just want the coolness of being like seeing it hit like 95, 100 bucks, and then being like, yeah, I turned $40 into 20 grand. I trimmed 90% on Friday. Okay. It just seemed like, just judging by the daily bars or whatever, you're just kind of going, people are trying to sell this. Like you can see the sellers really trying. Oh, my poor Tina. We're going to have to get back into you at another time. My poor Tina, because you might have some work here. That's why we were mentioning the potential for flagging. DIA actually crossing down. So DIA, we do have weekly expected moves up on Patreon for that. TLT, I love the reaction here. It's pretty great, honestly. We do get data. Let me go look at some data real quick. I don't think we get data today, do we? I think it's more later on the week. Okay, so we get, let me refresh this because it should be popping up some numbers here. Chicago PMI, 36.9. Chicago PMI coming in at 36.9, so pretty damn low. And then right now we're trying at this moment in 3 minutes, we'll learn about the pending home sales month over month and year over year. So those two things will help us out a lot. Still, downside looks like the most likely option for now, as the 2 hour is way crossed down below the moving averages and we are in a buy zone. We can head lower than this zone, just so you are aware, but we could get back in it. So we'll pay attention to it. This is right. If you watched the video last night, you shouldn't be surprised at all, right? We were gonna end up in a trap up here or a trap down here, and now we have to prove that that's a trap. The bear trap opportunity. Bear trap. Bear trap. And that's just what it's likely to be. It still can be some kind of more crash scenario, but we just have to wait to make sure those signals are like confirmed from volatility and things like that. Nothing really dropped that far. I mean, you even have NVIDIA doing decent here. So I'm not the most worried guy in the world. I mean, Microsoft's the only one that's really dropping lower than I would want it to. So now I would take Microsoft, right? If I was paying attention to Microsoft for a reversal in here, I've kind of dropped Microsoft so far, right? Because it doesn't have the cleanest signals. All it has is this little 30-minute one. If I want to take a chance with that, that could get risky. The 2-hour signal is kind of gone, right? So that's not a good sign. This is like, hey, we violated the potential. Like, this could be bad. It really could be bad for Google, right? Left shoulder head, we violate the neckline. But then what do you do when you violate the neckline a lot of the time? We talk about this plenty. Then you go make the right shoulder and you can actually fall down. So that's what we'll see happen here if negativity is going to be the answer. So we still do have a 2-hour that is by the center line. So if that just sees positivity, right, that would be a good thing. You do have a little 30-minute divergence for your RSI, but you'd have to see this be able to confirm up and take back the 5 for me to be convinced, like, hey, yeah, this can head in the upward direction again. NVIDIA actually just flipped down to negative, right, trying to reject here. GME, the main signal is you need this 30-minute to curl up, and you got that crazy line you need to get past. It's pretty high up there this week. We can go look at the options for it if you guys would like. Netflix, I remember this one giving some pretty big signals here. I still would see this at, like, wouldn't we still, even with this, if it dropped down to here, even with all that, it's like still holding up pretty freaking well. Like, this is days of price action here. So you might see one sporadic move like this and then get that fake out. That would be kind of crazy. This is why I'm kind of like, things are building. Are they going to see some massive squeeze and then mid-January to, you know, inauguration day, do we actually see that fall down? Bitcoin, we're starting to violate my line. So that is bad, okay? This is bad for Bitcoin to do. You don't want it breaking this line, especially on the daily. But Bitcoin on the 4-hour still showing potential for reversal. Not the best signals. Not the best, but it is piling up. So we got to see if that big move is break this and head down or fake people out and then move up. AVGO, and then we'll look at the home sale data maybe. AVGO, I don't like that. I do not like that because the 2-hour is going to show it cleanly here. This could be a potential for double top. I know it came a little bit higher, but it could potentially just be a slightly higher or lower high to actually shoot you down further. So I'd be looking for a retest of these areas down here towards 218.52. That's what I'd be looking for. If we're going to head in the upward direction a little bit quicker, well, then you need to pay attention if this 30-minute can curl back up. But you're losing the 5. I think you're very likely to go test these levels here or test the gap support. 212, 213, 218. I think you're very likely to test those areas. Doesn't mean there's really, it's kind of like there's no real trade setup. It's just like, hey, yeah, this thing is curling back down. Where's it going to pull back to? Well, if it's going to go back to where it just retested, then 217, 218. Spy more downside? Well, the weekly expected move would suggest no. The weekly expected move would suggest no. I'm going to make some moves here, I think. What? Really? That's cute. Oh shit. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so since we are hitting a weekly expected move, we're outside of a daily expected move. The percentages are with you saying this is most likely a trap. The percentages right away in the first hour of the week are saying this is most likely a trap. Doesn't mean it has to be, right? Crazy things can happen. But this is where this is why, you know, in the video yesterday, what were we saying over and over? It's going to be important to react, right? React. I'm not predicting that this is a trap. I'm saying this has high probability to be a trap because I have probabilities with my purple line right now, and then I'll react afterwards. What about the monthly move at 577 for the Qs? Monthly move 577. I'll double check my monthly expected moves, make sure I didn't move them around. Yeah, not necessarily 577. 577 isn't what I have, but we are below the monthly expected move right now. So if you're below the monthly expected move as well, you have another reason that this is going to bounce for the next couple of days, right? Or for the next, you would say tomorrow, right? Because it's a 32% chance to land here, or 68% chance to land here. So you're very likely to see maybe even more downside today, but maybe you'll see a reaction tomorrow to get you back in this zone. Do we have a full trading day? Yeah, we have a full trading day tomorrow. VVIX, maybe we can read into this. That 2 hours trying to curl up, that's not good. But let's look at VIX 9-day. That thing is popping. That's not good either. So a lot of the reversal signals here from volatility, maybe I need to bring up a 2 hour. No, see, other ones are showing, but I'm just going to watch this very closely. And I think when this curls down, we most likely have a bottom for the SPY. Yeah, even the 30-minute, if you look all the way across, it's pretty clean actually, still on the 30-minute. That's pretty funny. And it's holding the divergence point right here. Now that divergence point is deeper, so we'd mainly be paying attention to this, but it's kind of crazy. I still like the 2 hour or an hourly. An hourly might be good here, right? Hourly turns back up. Look how close it is to going positive. That can help you kind of see things a little bit more clearly. IWM, not able to drop down, so very interesting. I figured IWM would be the one to do that. So very interesting. Same with the Dow. Now the Dow is doing it. It's getting down into its zone. This is saying potential for opportunities if this can buy back up, right? Right now it's straight down. So for me to buy calls right now, that'd be ballsy. But if I see it go like that, that's when I can start to make a decision. 10-year coming off, PCC still high, dollar, we need the dollar to come off. That's what I think. I think we need the dollar to come off here. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking? Extreme fear now? I fall weekly expect to move at the 577. $577. I don't know. Weekly expected move. 577. Sorry, I'm like 577. We have a weekly expected move at 585.20. It's over. This is a trap. They're going to rally this back hard over the next 2 days. That's what the percentages are saying. Now, when crazy things happen, obviously the percentages are not with it, right? When you roll a roulette ball around a wheel and you see black 20 times, that is a 32%. You know what I mean? So if you're going to see something crazy, it would look like this, right? But I like to go with the percentages. Casey's like, going long. I will wait for a little bit more things, right? I at least need a reason, right? I need a reason, and I think the first reason, the tightest reason that I can find is this right here on volatility, right? I think this is the reason. This is going to be a reason to potentially make a decision. But I have to see multiple reasons, and that's why I'm waiting. Harvesting at the end of the year. Yeah, well, you know, some interesting things have happened this end of the year. You've seen a lot of these waterfall moments towards the end of the year, right? In November, we saw one. In what is this? December, we saw one. And now in December, we're seeing it again. So I'm just paying attention to reversal signals, man. And this 2 hour kind of has one. If you're saying there's going to be more selling, then you're going to break this channel. I don't think they want that to happen, right? I think they can wait a little bit until Trump's president and then throw it all at him. That's what I think. 10-year going down. Yep, 10-year going down. That's what we were waiting for. We're watching for that. TLT basing out. Went to that weekly expected move a couple times last week. And 10-year showing a daily divergence. Profit taking, yeah, that's a lot of what I believed this stuff was kind of like to rebalance, profit take, show that you have good profits, and then reinvest. Maybe set a trap to the upside for everyone soon. What do I think the bottom is? I think IWM might be a work in progress still. IWM not giving the same look, right? Not going down into our buy zones, not going down to the weekly expected move, which always just tells you, okay, I probably have some room to the downside first. That's why we wait to react. How is NVIDIA green? Because they don't actually, because the market's most likely not actually going to crash, right? This is to scare you, to get you to buy puts, make calls nice and cheap going into 2025, and then they see a big upward squeeze for 2 to 3 weeks. And then right when you believe, oh, okay, 2025 is going to be a really bullish year, then you see a correction or something like that. The waiting game sucks. Let's play Hungry Hungry. Oh my God, guys, my coffee's full. I haven't drank any of it. All right, so I'm going to chug this. All right, can you guys chant chug in the chat? It gives me encouragement. It gives me encouragement. All right, so here we go. Oh God. The Chuck Bass. Oh God. Whoa, that was a little lit. That was a little too much. All right, sorry about that. If you're new here, sometimes I'm a little weird. I'm sorry about it. But if you're new here, if you maybe joined us over the weekend and you're part of the 10,000 crew now, thank you so much for being here. If you would have a question, or anyone that is brand new, say, hey, I am brand. I want you to say it exactly like this, though. You have to say it exactly like this, and I'll look at a stock for you. You have to say, I am brand spanking new. Will you look at this ticker? All right? Thought you were doing something else there. God dang it, Jason. You dirty dog. That's no. Come on. I'm brand spanking new. Would you like to look at NVIDIA for me? All right, Tomas. And yeah, I know how to say Tomas, because I had a soccer teammate named Tomas. We look at BA? Let's look at BA first. BA, Boeing. Now, what have we said about Boeing before we click on the chart? All right, guys, you got to wait. I'm on Boeing now. We got to slow it down. There's 300 people in here. Slow it down. Slow it down. Wait for your chance. All right. Boeing. So what did we say about Boeing? What did we say about Boeing last time we looked at it? Well, it looks like it could potentially be a good investment opportunity because it is showing some good, I believe it was daily and weekly signals. So let's go see how those signals are playing out. Is it still a good opportunity? Well, it looks like it has been for a long time. So we actually were correct in pointing out a lot of these things, right? See the daily divergence, and we're seeing that upside. Now, we're always going to get pullbacks. Is this a moment that we're going to see a daily pullback? Well, the 2 hour is suggesting yes. So this is a likely time where you're going to maybe even see this thing vomit a little bit. Just because what did we do here? Well, we broke through this without making that little shoulder, right? That little shoulder to really push you higher. So maybe you're going to go make that shoulder now. And the best thing about that shoulder is it can be a little bit deeper. So because it can be a little bit deeper, we could see this get by the center line and then curl up into positive territory. And where would you really want to test? Anywhere in this little area right here would be a good thing to me. So we could come all the way down to that area, test the breakout, and then see that thing turn back up. But all I have to do is be patient, watch for that to curl up into positive territory, right? Now we are reacting off of the 200. If this is just going to continue in the upward direction, then we're not going to cross over the daily MACD. We're probably going to see the 2 hour able to curl back up into positive territory. Puts it is. Can we look at, well, I'll look at some different stuff. And Tomas, we could possibly reverse to 590. I mean, yeah, you're at a weekly expected move for the SPY. So it's very likely that this is a trap, just so you guys are aware. It is, I will say it this way. Anything can happen in the market. Anything can happen in the market. It literally can go up or down at any time. But the probabilities say right here, because of this purple line, because of this yellow line, because of the buy zone, because of the structure, this is saying you are highly probable to be in a bear trap right now. That's what it says. But you have to understand that this can easily move down, right? You're not, this is where you need to understand, this is why we talk about in the course, the 3 to 5 reasons to take a trade, right? You need reasons. But I have you, so I'm confident-ish. Hey, that's fine, Lynn, and you can ask a question. I know chat's gonna get a little crazy here. Wait, someone did something. Hold on here. Mom 3 shoes. Thank you for subscribing. All right, let's see here. George really wanted to look at MU. Okay, George really wanted to look at Micron over here. And you're seeing the same thing. Remember, Micron was the one that Short Fridays asked about. And really, the opportunity was here, pointing that out on a daily chart. That was the big opportunity. Now you're kind of waiting. It doesn't look like the best opportunity to me. I'm just going to be honest. Now, you are in an area where you bounce, right? Now, the true good trade was this sell zone. Sell zone, sell zone, right? We see that very plainly up here. So if we can catch a good daily bounce here, where do you think it's going to go? Well, if it can get through the breakdown, it can get through probably this mess in here, you're probably going back up to that sell zone, honestly. You're kind of stuck in that range and you're seeing some bigger swings. So I'd be watching out for if the daily can cross up. That's all I would say. There's not a lot of good signals here, but you are in some pretty good support. Would you get on an airplane who has a 65% of not crashing? No. Because of the not X. Or you're giving me not X, so the X would be a 35% chance of a crash, which is a terrible percentage. But there's a big difference in saying that. There's a big difference between my whole life ending and me not even taking a play yet and waiting for reversal. So what you kind of like, so you're right to bring up that statistic if you are just buying for no reason down here, right? If you are buying for no reason down here. Also, here's the other thing. Do I get to take a parachute and supplies onto the plane? Because that's what risk management is, right? I'm managing the risk. Only 65%. I hate planes. I haven't been on a plane in a minute. Plate. You get to take a put on the plane. Yeah, can I short the plane? Can I short the plane, please? Oh no. Oh no. FFIE GME. Yeah, FFIE still doing its thing. I'm waiting on that. So the way FFIE worked was it gapped higher, saw some resistance, gapped higher, saw some resistance, gapped higher until it was at like $100 in 5 days, $150 in 5 days. So I'm chilling, don't care. I'm up still 1,200%, but I am just doing it for the test, guys. We're doing it for fun. I'm sparkling brand new. Would you utilize HLF? I could look at it real quick. Hold on. All right, here we're gonna look at. Actually, I don't know what kind of thing is this. Hold on. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see what you want to look at. Okay. Happy-go-lucky fun stock. All right, cool. Looking at this guy, right away, you see the daily is kind of wonky in here. So this is probably going to be more on the investment side. Hate to say it, but on the investment side, this actually looks like it's waiting for a big reaction. It's been coiling up for a long time. You haven't seen a reaction to the 200 in a long time. Does this have a short seller problem? I don't know enough about this stock. So you have to mix a little bit of fundamentals at this point. But to say that this is a decent area, I would say potential. So you're looking at a bunch of weekly divergences here, and they're all holding pretty well here across the way. So really, you might want to pull up a monthly chart. All right, we see on the monthly chart, we're trying to trickle our way up. Okay, so the monthly chart's not going to help us too much. I was hoping for a curl down and a curl back up. So what I'm mainly going to be looking for at this point is, does the weekly give me some confirmations here? And the confirmations are going to be this. Okay, I'm going to be looking for an investment. I probably would stay away from options for the most part, but if this can actually go positive on the weekly, that would be a good thing. And I need that to be going positive. I need a positive bar above the 9 and the 20, and then I need to make sure to be managing the risk because this thing is going down and down and down. So this is where you go more in the investment style of things. Plane crashes come in threes? What 3 plane crashes have we seen? When you have time, can you look at LPSN? We actually did look at LPSN a little bit ago. If you want to go look at, I mean, I'll try to do it briefly real quick. And then I know I probably have a bunch of chat to catch up to. I shouldn't say, oh, everyone tell me a stock to look at. I mean, that's just crazy with 300 people. So, yeah, try to time it out, guys. Usually if I'm coming to the end of an assessment, you can kind of look at it and be like, okay, look at that. Weekly actually crossing up last week above the 9. So this is actually a really good sign for LPSN now that I'm looking at it a little bit more here. And the monthly is trying to make an upward move, a little bit of a higher low. So this weekly is saying I can go into a positive trend. That actually looks pretty good. I think you might get a reaction here. Yeah, I actually think you might get a reaction here. You have a big divergence, right? All the way across. That weekly is trying to go positive. If that can go positive, it means good things. Obviously, if the daily starts to curl down, look at that. It's overbought, so it's kind of risky to do like right now. So you might be looking for consolidation, but if this is a little dollar stock and you're looking for a big reaction, you need to know about any problems behind it, the company itself, are they profitable? Do they have a bunch of debt, right? Anything that they could say badly about it, you want to be open to understanding. And then you just want to make a decision, right? Options going to be very difficult with things like this. Options might be a lot easier with something like this, honestly. Options might be a lot easier with something like this, to be honest, right? Just chilling. Was on flight back from Vegas to New Orleans on Saturday night. Tornado winds caught up on landing and we nearly skidded off the runway. Holy crap, Short Fridays. I am glad you're okay. Yeah, I'm glad you're okay. I don't want anything bad to happen to you guys. Even if you disagree with me, even if we disagree on who, you know, people were really into the election this year and stuff, you know. So even if we disagree, I am not that person, right? I am not someone who wishes badly on anyone. It's not my place to say. I'm brand naked. Yes, sorry about that. That's called a mistake. Binek. NVAX. Yeah, I'll take a look for you, buddy. Novax. Okay, Novax dropping off a cliff again. That's not a good sign. Daily crossing over. Okay, so this is actually okay. Mainly because you could see a reversal signal, but this is going to be very risky, okay? This is going to be very risky because look in the past when you've broken down after a decent upward move, right? Decent upward move, we kind of do this sideways BS and then you drop down. And what do you do that whole time? You create a bunch of divergences. So that tells you right away with a super deep MACD, you could make a bunch of divergences. So what I'd actually be looking for is if you want to, right? It's always up to you guys, right? It's your money. If you see a divergence and it's very early on, it's really close to the center line, that is something I would like. Because you notice over here, right? We notice this right here, this potential for a double bottom, or if you want to call it a slight higher low. Well, that happened very quickly and it was decently close to that center line. But if you actually start to go down further, right? And this kind of leaks down into here, and then you get that reaction, you can keep getting rejected. And then once you get close to the center line, that's more. And I'm just pointing that out because it's done that in the past after an okay run. It started to do that again when it fell down. So I just want you to be aware of that. It's going to be a little bit risky there. Seems like everyone is pointing out some risky plays, which is fine because it means you guys are paying attention to like things that could be good opportunities. The easier thing to do here, just so you're aware, I'm going to call you Binyek. The easier thing to do is wait, see if this weekly can turn up. If that weekly can turn up, you might have a little A, B, and then C come up. And so weekly turns up, you might have the weekly swing trade. And that's just much easier to do with these types. One DT SPY, what strike price do you think? Well, I'll tell you what one thing you can most of the time see. Now, one thing is this. You have to understand, we could hang out down here for like 2 days. But it's very hard to see the daily expected move because it's right on our zone. Usually you will see a test of that intraday, but you're so far away from it. So if anyone's giving you a level to pay attention to, or a level that we're definitely going to react to, that would be 590.59 would be the most likely area to react to. I mean, look at the low, it could hold as resistance. So that would be the most likely place. Does that mean it's even high probability? No. Notice I'm saying most likely. I'm not saying highly probable because I don't even think that's over 50% right now. I think you're at the weekly, so it would more lean you towards, hey, by the end of the week, I can be in the middle of this zone. That's the more logical thinking, right? Is we're seeing this come out of our 48% zone in a buy zone. If that turns up, it might even cross back down to create that base on the 30-minute, and then we see that upside move into the end of the week. That is the very, very likely to happen. Is something like this happens right here, and then we head upward. Here's the thing, if they really want to trick people out of money, if they really want to manipulate you, then you're going to start to see rip around moves with volatility higher. You can see something like, oh, the 30-minute crossed up, we're back, and then it just rejects, and then it comes back down and people get bearish again, and then you see that reverse again. Now, that would mean the 2-hour is not able to curl back up. Okay, that would mean the 2 hours not able to curl back up on like a push like this. Instead, it maybe goes like this and then drops again, but it's not able to curl back up. If that's able to curl back up though, that means most likely a strong base. Ben Fisher, I'm just going to be honest with you. That's one thing that I even said that last week. I need to do more research on USD JPY before I comment on it. That is one thing that I know a lot of people paying attention to it, and I know people bring it up like for years. I've had people bring it up, and or I've even looked into it, but I just haven't taken it too seriously because I'm looking at my trade setups a lot of the time. So Ben, I will put a note. I'll put a note for myself to tell myself to look into that a little bit more before I comment on it. I just don't want to do you a disservice, you know what I mean? I'm not someone who's going to sit here and be like, yeah, I know everything. There are some things that I have not fully looked into, so I want to see USD JPY, and I know that they have a lot to do with the bond market as well. And it reversed with the I mean, yeah, it sounds like you're playing day plays, Kalani, and that's just going to contradict a lot of things. 30-minute trying to curl up on what? A negative bar right now. So there's no reason for upside. Still, really, not even more reason for downside. Just pull back on the 2 hour still being stated here. But thank you for bringing it up, Ben. I can show you. I literally have it over here in my notes, right under my research for the fall to spring of 2008. And I want to look at the emergency rate cut timing. So those are two things that I need to look into this week. Which, the market is closed on the 1st, so, oh man, this is another kind of light volume week. How's the volume looking today? Okay, not bad. Let me see this. Not bad. Volume actually on this drop was huge. Not bad. Yeah, really pretty average to okay. Lucid, I will go look at Lucid. I actually kind of like Lucid, and this is one of the EVs I really like. You're in 2 hour pullback mode. Most likely that's going to pull back a little bit further. Okay, so the area you're paying attention to is the breakout. So the breakout would be this little box in here. That's very likely where you're heading. If you took the course and you could make a weekly expected move for this, that weekly expected move might be at like 280 or something like that. And then you head down to here, you see the 2 hour able to confirm back up, and you just have a simple swing. That would be very, very good. Is it possible that the U.S. government has appointed guys like Adam Aaron and Ryan Cohen to manage squeeze stocks and dilute them when they run to keep banked Bank stocks, shorting them safe? No, not on the GME side of things. I think you might have an argument. And thank you so much for the $10, by the way, Short Fridays. Really appreciate it. And I'm glad you're safe. Like, genuinely, very glad you're safe. You've been a part of the channel for a while now, and we've had a lot of fun here with you. And my goodness, I'm glad that you're safe. But I think you have an argument with that when it comes to AMC and Adam Aron. Do I agree with it? Not necessarily. Because at the end of the day, like, that would mean he's a terrible human being. Like, he has a business with people who work and stuff like that. So it's just like, that would mean he's a terrible human being. And I just don't think that's the case. But you would have some inclination to think that as the Adam Aron thing. For Ryan Cohen, I don't think you see that as much, because you just saw them say they would never, if they were a part of that, they would never say they're not going to be finished with dilution until the end of January, right? They just would not say that if they were part of that camp. Now, if they say that and then they go back on their word and they start to dilute, then you would start to say, hey, this is a little fishy. But since they're sitting on cash already, they don't necessarily need to dilute right now. But yeah, I think you have a point there on the Adam Aron side of things, is what I would overall say. Does that make sense? But I don't necessarily know if that would be the government directly. I think they would directly be in bed with, you know, you would say the citadels and the market makers and short sellers. QQQ more downside? Well, QQQ, ironically enough, does have a little bit more downside. I think QQQ has the best look, though. Look at the QQQ. This means tech stocks might see a run here. And just so you're aware, guys, it is December 30th. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be putting out new monthly expected moves, but also something a little bit different, okay? I'm going to give you guys annual expected moves. He's just not a good businessman. And that could be the case, Richard, right? That could be the case. I think the dilution is what a business should be doing. And I think AMC is suppressed more than you think. I think AMC is suppressed more than GME, actually. So that's just my theory on it. Based on everything I've studied all summer and based on the numbers that I've seen recently, I'm just like, AMC looks like it's more manipulated, which would encourage maybe Adam Aron is a little bit sketchy. So we'll find out eventually, right? I wish I was a future seer, right? Him selling 25 million of his stock prior to dilution. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think he is a little bit more out for himself. I mean, you can just look at his salary and kind of say that. What was it over here? Buying it. IWM looking like a buy here for a nice trade. Dave looking at IWM. IWM, I am aware that this can go down further. I did make a daily expected move for IWM. Let me try to pull that up real quick. Let me see if I can find it. I'll just give you guys that level. It's 219.71, so IWM actually holding up a lot better. A lot better, really close to the daily expected move there. So very interesting. You would expect this to drop down to 215. Maybe that's where looking at IWM's put call walls will help. Wait. Oh, there's Short Fridays. Sorry, I just saw that. Thank you again for the $10. Luke, the meme stock king. Well, I'm just studying something and it's working out. Hello. Do you need help? Sort of? Yeah. Here, hold on 1 second, guys. Let me put you guys over on the queues for a moment. Oh, mama's pissed at the little guy tips. I just have to watch baby girl on the monitor. So if I do have to leave for a second, guys, it's just because baby girl woke up and I got to get her back to sleep real quick. But I'll be trying to stay live a little bit today. And grandma's coming over to help with baby girl, so I should be able to stay live for a little bit. All right, so it's just me and I gotta watch baby girl. Gosh, she's so cute. She's a cutie patootie. We'll bring her on sometime. Whoa, Short Fridays coming out with the $50. Why doesn't Cohen just buy some Berkshire Hathaway Warren Buffett stock on the books? This would insinuate GME from being attacked from so many short sellers. What do you think Cohen will do with the 4.6 billion, and most importantly, when? I think you're about to see a decision in probably the first quarter, but also you have to understand this too. For Ryan Cohen, something very good to understand about Ryan Cohen is he actually is one of the best traders. He is like one of the best investors of our time. Like, that's why people are comparing him to Warren Buffett. So to say Berkshire Hathaway and things like that, I think that's fine. But I would more so, like, even myself, I would say I would be stupid to think, oh, I'm a better trader than Ryan Cohen. I'm a better investor than Ryan Cohen. I'm just not. Right? His track record proves it. I mean, he's the one that bought Apple at like $30 and stuff like that. So he's like one of the top holders of Apple for a long time now. So it's kind of like up to him what happens as far as the direction of like, or when or what they're going to do. I think Ryan Cohen has a good enough brain that whatever he does will end up being the right move. I think what they're doing on the business side of things by shutting down some stores, revamping some stuff, trying to revamp the website, do all those things, I think those are good little things that you have to do early on, right? A lot of the time you want to clamp down on cost, right? If you've ever run a business, then a lot of the time, if you're trying to restructure things, it's really good to try to start over in some way and get rid of the trash that you're holding on to in some way, if you want to put it that way. So that's why closing down a lot of stores and getting rid of debt are two very good things to do early on as you're trying to revamp the business. Maybe someone could agree with that or disagree with that, but that's how I see it. Now, as far as when, I would really lean towards probably you're going to see some good news come out soon. Now, whether that'll be a Roaring Kitty YOLO thing, I don't know. Whether that would be Ryan Cohen actually saying a business thing. I think you'd rather have Ryan Cohen come out and they say what they're planning to do going forward as a company. And I think that would help you more. Too soon. Thank you for subscribing. That's what I would think. Because if you want institutions to seriously, they already are, by the way, they already are starting to invest in GME, but if you want them to get in even more, an actual business reason for them to get in would be a better thing, in my opinion. So I would rather see in the next month some kind of news like that come out short Fridays than see a Roaring Kitty tweet and this thing pops off. Because if it's a Roaring Kitty tweet, I think you're going to see a moment where that thing just, tears to the downside again, and that's just not what you want to see. You want to see reasons for people to want to hold on to the stock, and that's going to come from the business side. Does that kind of answer what you're kind of asking? As far as Warren Buffett stock and things like that, I would more so be like, I'm going to leave that decision up to him. He's a very smart guy. That's where you get the difference between Adam Aaron and Ryan Cohen. Like, yes, I have AMC. Yes, I invested in AMC. But also, I understand the skill set of each CEO, and one of them seems to be better right now than the other. Now, if AMC wasn't suppressed down to $5, it was maybe sitting at $12 or $14 right now, we'd probably be talking a lot differently about AMC and stuff like that. Oh, Roaring Kitty, he's just he's the person who pointed out to a lot of retail traders that there are illegal short sellers out there. That's pretty much all he did. What do I like to do? I like to look at data and make my own decisions, and I think that's perfectly fine. If GME has good signals, then it'll probably see some good upside, right? We're still looking for the 30-minute to just confirm up here. It looks like it has. So this is where you have a chance of something. You could see a news drop today. That's what this signal says, right? That's what that signal says. Remember the last time that we saw like some good price action, we had good signals. We pointed out a 30-minute divergence and then Roaring Kitty tweeted. It's like, these things, a lot of the time momentum, it's because money moves first, then news comes out. I'm brain sync and news shiny with baby oil and all. Are there enough signals for the keys to have upside into the rest of the week? Looking to go long. Actually, you do. Now, it doesn't have them confirmed right now. But you are, so I just want to, I'll explain this out and how we talk about it in the course to give you, there's a lot of new people. I'm sure that the course being on sale, people are thinking about it and all that stuff. And I think that's great. But some things that we like to say, and one of the most helpful parts is you need reasons behind a trade, right? So what do we see as reasons for this 30-minute for potential reversal here? Well, we're down by a weekly expected move. We could still go down to that weekly expected move. You do gravitate really seriously towards them, but it is a good sign that the SPY is at it. So you could stop here for the Qs and turn around, but just note that that is always a possibility. Okay, now the key thing that we were looking for, why did we mark off this zone, right? We talk about zones in the course a little bit. Well, we have a good amount of liquidity in this area, and we have a breakout in this area as well at the bottom of it. So this is where we're really paying attention for those reversal signals. So right away we have support. Okay, that's one reason. The other reason might be, hey, there's an extended 30-minute divergence, but it's very extended. So maybe I want to see if that creates one in the near term, or I want to see if this 2-hour can confirm back up, because that is blatantly giving divergence. So now I'm aware of the reversal signal that has not confirmed yet. So that tells me, okay, if the 2-hour is able to get back above these moving averages that are coming down, and then this is able to go past it, this is going to cross. And where is it? Right by positive territory, which means what? We have a high likelihood to see a good upward move into the end of the week. Right, so now you're seeing all the reasons. That's another reason right there. What's some other reasons? Well, 1 on the MACD, 2 on the RSI. Now we have like 3 reasons. What's the other thing? The daily. Is the daily positive or negative? It's in positive territory. It's turned down in positive territory, meaning that you're pulling back. What do we have in this area? The 50. That could be another reason. Another reason could be this. This is in positive territory. Did we have reversal signals up here that say this is highly probable to go negative? No, you didn't. You did not have those signals here at the top. You do have a lower high, which would suggest the topping signal for a major top for the Qs, but did you have the other signal to really call that as a top for the SPY? No, you had a lower high. So now we know this is most likely not the top. We know that this is most likely a trap. And now we have 5 reasons to, if this 2-hour on the Qs is able to crawl up, to see an upward move that could go all the way up to 534.11 by the end of the week. So that's how we break, that's how the course can really get you thinking. And that's what we try to teach people a lot, is just find those reasons. If I'm only taking something like this is a big problem. And since there's a lot of people in here, I think it's good to talk about. I think it's very, very good to talk about. These weekly expected moves, if you just see something react to a weekly expected move and you just say, okay, that's one reason I'm going to take calls and this has to go up. It's not enough, guys. That can hurt you more than it helps you. You can win doing that sometimes, but the one time it hurts you, it's really going to hurt you. All right? Because if you break through that and there's no reversal signals, the most likely thing is you're actually going to go deeper. But the good part is we have reversal signals. So I think you're paying attention to the right stuff, Braden. I think you're seeing you need more time. I don't try to buy bottoms. I try to see when someone else has said, I'm going to buy the bottom. Some very rich people, some big money comes in. The market maker starts to manipulate stuff. And then we see that bottom come in. I see the confirmation above these moving averages. And then we see this, and then you go, okay, we're very likely to test this high, go make a new one. What's the daily very likely to do? If that crosses up, test this high, go make a new one. That was a lot, but if you're able to take in half of what I just said, that's probably pretty good. If Cohen bought AMC, then this stuff's probably going to go absolutely bonkers. But we haven't seen enough upward price action to suggest that AMC has had a good buyer come in. But what were we pointing out? We were pointing out this 2-hour divergence ever since this drop right here. We were like, oh, we might make that 2-hour divergence. You still have it. You're reacting down to the bottom of, I think I called it the lows. I meant to say flag in the video. I think this is overall flagging for a long time. When to take profits? Yes, and actually we use weekly expected moves to do that as well. And how to really understand why we take profits at weekly expected moves. Last week was a great example. Do you know where the weekly expected move was last week? It was right there. Right? So if I'm someone that's trading on a weekly basis, then I would say, okay, well, this is as high up as the option market priced it to go. This is what convinced me to sell my Tina. Remember Tina? You guys remember Tina? It wasn't even at a weekly expected move for IWM. But the SPY was, and the Qs were running into what? The Qs were running into the weekly and monthly expected move in this area. So that's what we talk about as far as taking profit. And we even talk about, hey, if the trade isn't going to get to those lines, if you need to manage the trade, we teach that in the course as well. So Warren Buffett just bought 500 million more of Oxy. And I think this is where you have to understand Warren Buffett's strategies. His strategy is not to look at technicals and buy things, right? He's looking for something that he sees as cheap. And if he can keep buying it and keep buying it at low levels, eventually, maybe even 10 years later, this will be at $80 or something like that, right? We understand more about, hey, this weekly crosses up. You could see some positivity. Maybe you run into problems at 56.26. Right, but you have to understand how Warren Buffett does things. And a lot of the time you have to understand he's probably at this point buying things that he sees very long-term as positive for potentially his family and his business. I'm not saying he's going to be alive. I'm saying he's probably going to give his assets over to someone or have the assets in Berkshire held for a certain period of time. That would be, damn. RIP Charlie Mung. FFIE still holding pretty good there. SPX. I do actually have a support level for SPX. I will give it to you because that's fine. Because we're given the SPY. So for the week, 587238. So I could go. I think that's going to round it out, maybe. No, okay. So right there, and look at that. It lines up to the SPY. So a lot of what you can do, guys, since I do give it out for the SPY on YouTube, is a little trick. I'll tell you the little trick. You guys want to know a little trick? All right, so if I wanted to get this level, let's say I don't have this level for the SPX, I can get a rough estimate of this level. I can look at this wick and see, oh, it's like a little bit above that wick. Just below these, I can go back over to the SPX and go, okay, just below these, maybe at the wick. Okay, so these are going to be different, but you can say somewhere in this area right here is going to be that line. If you wanted to go a little bit deeper, you could say like right there, but because of this, you would want to pull it up to probably the wick. So that's just a little trick, but the actual level for that is right there. We're seeing some buying pressure. Just remember, we could have more time in this. This could 30-minute curl up and 30-minute curl down. But look, we're very likely to test those bottom side daily expected moves. See, we're very likely to test those. So the first inclination that this can head up is just the 30-minute being able to cross. Doesn't that look good again? It's back in the zone. Now we can head up to here. 2 hour can start to maybe even cross, but you want to be aware that that could take that dip down. So maybe we need to be paying attention to this guy. Did this confirm? Ooh, remember when we were pointing out this right away in the morning? 30-minute divergence here, that leads towards the 2 hour turning down. And if we're looking for selling, right? What if we get a trap to the upside now? What if this upside move is actually going to be a trap too? Well, then we're probably going to see a 2 hour divergence or a 2 hour higher low. We're going to see this in some way. If we don't see that reaction, then this is probably heading down towards 1212 for volatility, which means a squeeze most likely in the market, which means a bull run. So that's why we're seriously watching these things today. But yeah, as far as profit taking goes, by the way, just to revert back to what was actually asked, profit taking is very, very useful when you understand weekly and monthly expected moves. Profit taking becomes pretty easy. Or at least makes more sense. I wouldn't say easy. I'm not going to say anything's really like easy. Double trap. Dun, dun, dun. Dude, you like double traps. I'm telling you right now. You guys, if volatility goes higher, like you're going to see double traps all the time in a bear market, right? It is the most fun market to trade, in my opinion. Trying to see a short price. Warren Buffett just about 500 million of that. I listen to Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger annual stockholder meeting on YouTube on loop every night to play while I sleep. True. Sad story. Yeah, I liked Charlie Munger. I did watch a lot of him speaking, and I used to watch their stockholder. They do like a full thing, like where they have like them just sitting up there answering questions, which is great. And I just like those guys' attitudes. They seem like very nice guys, but I'd be a very nice guy too if I was old and I got to buy into a debt system when I was 20 years old. Which technically, if you're 20 years old now, we're still in the debt system, but it's just, I'm interested to see what happens going forward. It's funny, you're like, I eat, sleep, and breathe. Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. Yeah, so Oxy, most likely, when you look at Warren Buffett's strategy, most likely that is going to be something you're going to have to hold on to for a long time. Does Oxy give a dividend? It is. It's friggin' Warren Buffett, so does Oxy give a dividend? Dividend, 1.8, so there you go. So most likely he's going to buy a shitload and then just sit there and be happy with it. I think 2-hour pullback would be nice here for structure. That would be nice. Prediction for NVIDIA today? I'm not going to give a prediction for the day. I still think that NVIDIA is going to end up going to the upside. I just don't like how this looks right now. I just don't know if it's like going to the upside now or going up to the upside later after another drop. 49 calls expiry February seems like an easy play, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Once again, short Fridays. If you got your 3 to 5 reasons, I ain't going to hate on it. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Do you know what I am saying? Exactly. Yeah, and that's actually good to bring up. I mean, the dollar just screaming like this is rough. This is not what you want to see. This is not what we want to see into the end of the month, guys. Just remember, this is confirming by tomorrow if this keeps going. So this is not what you want to see. This should be your, hey, maybe I need to be careful with this upside play. Maybe I need to manage my position size. Okay, guys? So this is a very good thing to bring up. Thank you, Marshall Law, for bringing it up. This is exactly the signal that we're marking off at these key points. These key points were tops. This is where you saw it cross back up into positive territory, you got a top. You went positive, you got a top. You went positive, you got a top. We bottomed, we called that, now you're turning positive. And that does mean a red line like this could pop up, aka a top. That could be for a correction or for some kind of crash. That's why we were looking at the daily and saying we would really like the daily to turn down here. That has not happened. Okay, that has not happened. So this should be a little bit worrisome. Now, if you're just going to get a reaction for now, we can look at a 4-hour chart. Look at the 4-hour about to curl up, and then you want to see if that can confirm back down rather quickly. So if we're going to see more selling and then you see this really quickly, watch out because that daily is likely to cross down. If that doesn't form, we might be in a market top. We might be seeing some kind of corrective move. The Dixie up is foreign money coming into US dollars probably. USA is best house in the neighborhood. I can see that, llama mama. We did see that with the election. With the election, I believe you actually saw that as well. Yeah, see November 5th. That was the Trump trade starting. People coming into USD. I've heard some weird things about who's heard some weird things about Tether lately. I feel like someone was saying, like, I was reading somewhere, some guy wrote an article on like the collapse of Tether or something like that, and I was like, what? That'd be bad. Are you watching QQQ? Yeah, it's just a 2-hour trade setup, so we got to be pretty damn patient with it. So I don't like staring at a 2-hour bar for a long time. But you do have the reversal signal. In about 37 minutes, you're going to have it confirming the formation of divergence, but not confirming the divergence to the upside. Dubious years, but nobody ever seems to prove it. Exactly. I've heard about bad things about Tether for like 10 years now or something, like crazy amount of time. I like to use TradingView. I don't post my charts anywhere, but I try to make it very simple with these yellow and color-coded lines. We need to put a little color code up for new people that are coming in. This is TradingView, and I actually just started to use the app. Let me see. I might even have a link to TradingView in the description. And it's just a browser, inspirational likes, just so you're aware. You can just open up Chrome, type in TradingView, and you can get to it. You can do it completely free and put up like a MACD and RSI and some moving averages and be ready to go. Start learning. My Gush play. Gush. I've looked at Gush before. Isn't Gush like oil or something? Oil and gas. It's a 3x leverage, so just want to see how oil's kind of doing in the futures here, because I think it was pretty good. 4 hour able to curl up, you never confirm back down. Ooh. We'll see. Satori, thank you so much for subscribing. Q's string rejection to the upside strong. Or sorry, Q's rejection, or Q's strong rejection to the upside. Yeah, and that's why we're still waiting to see. I mean, this plays out a lot. This is where patience really helps you guys. This is going to help you. This is like practice for a bear market right now. Do you guys understand that this is like practice for a bear market right now? Right? Because in a bear market, you're going to see stuff like this all the time. You're going to see a great upward move that looks like we're going higher than just a gap down. But just note this. What did we leave behind? Gaps. Awesome. I think it's like, what is it? Oh, shoot, I used to have the stat. I think like 75% of the time you're going to fill those gaps within 5 trading sessions. So this would say like what? 4 days left. This would say 5 days left. So what we're looking for here is, can this confirm up? And that can take a lot of time. So what do we need down here to really convince us that we can turn up? Well, we might need that 30-minute divergence, okay? So still the Qs could see a big reaction up, still fail, and then see that reaction up later. So that's what you gotta understand. This can take a while to form a base down here. Remember big traders? Well, I think you actually haven't seen the worst amount of volume, I would say. Like if we really look at the volume here, let me take this off real quick. So if we really look at the volume here, it's like it's a little bit lackluster, right, compared to all the other weeks. A little bit lackluster. When we really look at this from the flush of selling, it's not as bad as it could be. It could just be this. So we'll see what this week shapes up to, but most likely after this week, we're going to be seeing some stuff. And the Qs are good to pay attention to on the weekly scale, by the way. This is the ultimate signal of, yeah, we're probably going back down to the 20, maybe even the bottom of the channel for a correction. I don't think volume's like the worst though. It's low, it's just, I think we've seen a lot lower in these times. So now we just sit and we wait and we see if the 2 hour crosses up, and then we go, okay, the 2 hour can probably take us all the way up to these levels here by Friday. IWM pumping. Let's go look at IWM, because IWM is holding up better. Didn't even cross the MACD. This might be clear on the hourly. Yeah, hourly for IWM is something I would watch, and hourly for the SPY as well. But IWM would be pretty good here. That is divergence on the hourly chart. Okay, sorry, I was making sure I didn't mess something up. Hey, Christian, thank you so much for subscribing today. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the channel. I hit positive on my option that expires soon. We like it. Good job. We like to hear people winning. Let's go look through some stocks here real quick. Apple, rough spot for Apple. Rough spot for Apple now. Let me do this real quick. Yeah, the good part is weekly, like you're touching weekly expected moves pretty early. Tesla has more room though. Tesla has more room to drop here. Really be looking for if Tesla can curl up on the 2 hour though. Amazon, you see a lot of the same thing. Like look at Tesla. All right, look at Amazon. They're like the same, except Amazon actually showed the weakness a little bit more up here. Nvidia, positive, looking all right. AMD, screw you. No. AMD, pretty solid here. Trying to react past 127.46 to get back into our sell zone. And then maybe it just builds in there for a while, right? That would be great. Meta, this is one that I really want to pay attention to. I think you have a high likelihood that these things are going to shape up to be double bottoms on hourly charts. I think hourly charts might be your friend today. Microsoft ones that I'm worried about, but you're still seeing the hourly able to hold those points on the RSI, giving it up on the MACD, just very flat on the MACD. You're going to need to see a reaction here from Microsoft, most likely by the end of day, for that to go back to the bull side for me. Google, again, just, is it actually doing that right shoulder now? Is it going to break down, or are we actually going to see the hourly curl back up? So I think hourly curl ups are important here. GME 30-minute, I believe, did confirm up, but kind of struggling, right? They do. It looks like 33 is where people are starting to clamp down on it. DJT, rough one there. 2 hour curling down with a potential for head and shoulders. So not a good look there for DJT. Head and shoulders popping up again for SoFi. We're seeing just similar looks all around. Palantir. This one, once again, you're getting a bunch of wonkiness in the chart. So I really just want to pull up the daily, see that it's confirming daily divergence today, and be like, okay, well, this can make another move like this, but that's going to be risky because you're starting to confirm that this thing is really slowing down. And if you go pull up the SEC filings, you're just going to see a lot of insiders selling Palantir for the last like 6 months. Doesn't mean they're right, though. Hey, that thing's been going up, but I think retail's holding that stock up pretty well. Let's see. Bitcoin's going to be important to watch, especially if you want to look into something like Mara. Mara has lost our 1873, so that's not a good sign. We can go down and fill a gap. But one signal that we were watching was the VIX, right? Has the VIX confirmed this signal yet? Not yet. So still some time, but when this confirms, it is very likely we are going to see a positive reaction in the market. Where is VXN? Yeah, VXN kind of showing it as well. Very flaggy. So this means that the SPY has a pretty high probability if you see the VIX cross down the next 30 minutes or hour, we actually could see that upside. Okay, good. Baby girl's sleeping good. It's awesome. Love to see it. Now she has enough hair that I can pull her hair instead of her just pulling mine. Rude. Oil still bullish, yeah. I think oil looks pretty good. Okay, NVIDIA, I see you helping out Micron and other chips, yeah. Thank you for you and allowing me to yip yap. Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year, guys. New Year, new me. Set those goals, right? I mean, I know that we wait for New Year, but maybe give yourself a boost. If you're maybe not setting some goals, but something good I like to do is I like to set things to do for the day to make myself feel good, to make myself feel productive. So I'll pull up the Google Keep app if you guys like to have an app that you can just check stuff off. I like Google Keeps or Keep, and I used to just write out 5 to 10 things I want to get done in a day, and it would just make me feel good at the end of the day to just check all those off or check them off as I go to show progress. No, I'm not leaving. I'm chilling. Thank you so much, Marshall Law, for the $5, and thank you for saying that. No, and you're yip yapping, but I like when people are yip yapping a little bit. I like to hear your guys' opinions on stuff, okay? If you have an opinion on something, we just ask you to be respectful in the chat. We try to keep things pretty light here. You know, things got a little bit crazy sometimes with the election, but at the end of the day, guys, we're here to look at stocks. We all enjoy the same thing, and we all want to make money. And so we can learn a little bit on how to do that. And maybe I can learn something from you guys. I've learned tons of stuff from you guys, right? Looking at other stuff. LPSN getting stupid now. AMD just bought a couple for fun. Yeah, that's why I have my fun account. I actually like DIA, again, on the hourly chart, just really tapping into our zone, using it as support right now. I want to see if that can fling to the upside. It's the weekly for DIA. We do give out DIA on Patreon as well. Yeah, very good reaction. Very, very good. A lot of weekly expected moves getting tagged right now. 30-minute was able to confirm the bottom here. for TLT, which is just interesting because the dollar and the 10-year have been moving in tandem, and now you're seeing that separation, right? The 10-year coming down. We got to see if that confirms the divergence here, but the dollar is still holding up pretty well. Interesting. Very interesting market. I love these kinds of markets that actually freaking move. I love volatility, man. It's so much more fun of a market than being like, yeah, this is reverting down to the 5, pop back up. Gonna test the 5, pop back up. Oh, we lost the 5, it goes down. Right? These moments are much more fun. And I think it's because they're opportunities. And I don't think a lot of people see this as an opportunity. They're just seeing rip-arounds. And I'm going, well, that rip-around eventually chooses a direction. So I'm waiting, ready to make my moves. How's my boy FFIE doing? Yeah, I wanted to look at this with you guys for a sec. So after this move, this is what happened the next day for this. It went up 100%. I'm interested to see if that was at the beginning of the day or the end of the day. Yeah, so it looked like the beginning of the day, a little rough. Then going into 10:30 here in like 30 minutes, it saw that positivity. Then it got rough. Then it gapped up the next day. So I'll still be holding this. It's kind of like a 5-day play because that's how long the last move took. So I'll see if it's able to do it this time. But short seller theory, proving pretty good there. Who just jingled in my ears? Who the heck just jingled in my ears? Disembodied Jesus? 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 Calls on that one. I took calls on that 3 days ago, 3 trading days ago, something like that. I think it was December 24th. Yeah, it was December 24th. I just took a month out because my short sale theory I'm working on played out. Yeah, it was you. Thank you for subscribing. Shorted earlier in calls now. Yeah, I think you're just playing, yeah, well, and then I read your comment. You're playing both sides. Can't go wrong, right? That's trading like water. That's what we say on this channel. If you're new here, trading like water. It means this looks really bearish, so let's be bearish right now, but understand where we're at. And the fact that we're at a weekly expected move, the fact that we're in a buy zone, the fact that we're making a reversal signal means we need to quickly be able to adapt and change that water to go down maybe into the bull side. But we'll see if that's able to happen, JCD. Thank you so much for subscribing. We got to see if these things prove. That's it. And if we're patient, yeah, we're not going to make the most money by buying the bottom here. But we're going to make great money by buying when that actually confirms and seeing that next upside move. Now, a lot of the time it doesn't happen this quick, guys. Just know when we draw these lines, sometimes it takes more time than that, right? We can see a 30-minute move up to here, react down, 30-minute move up. So that's why I don't do 0 DTE. IWM, you're going to water it real quick. All right, well, let's look at volatility and see if it's starting to get with you. It's starting to drop a little bit more. Ooh, it's getting close. You're starting to close below that 9 on the 30. Starting to get towards, the 20. Now you just need that lagging indicator. You need this to get below the center line. You need that lagging indicator to cross down. So SPY should see some positivity now. Remember when I was like, hey, yeah, in the next probably hour, you're going to see positivity if that volatility can drop down. We'll see what happens, right? This doesn't mean it's over. Right? The 2-hour has to cross up. If the 30-minute goes like this, rejects and curls back down, you might get bearish. You might be like, oh my God, this is awful. We're going to crash, right? Everyone might be seeing crash. And then you see a double bottom. That's trading like water. Be open to both sides, no matter what your emotions are telling you. Pay attention to what your indicators are saying. But yeah, bear trap looks very likely. Did I make my title bear trap? Andrew Vo, thank you so much for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Hey, some good subscribers coming in. Thank you guys for liking the channel, getting us to 10K. In just less than a year and a half, we're at 10K, and I think that's awesome. And it's really hats off to you guys. So thank you guys so much for liking. And am I bullish? I could potentially be bullish in the next hour or two. Bear trap equals opportunity. Exactly. Know the cycles and let price come to you. Be patient, don't chase, trade like water, manage risk. Couldn't say it any better myself. Literally couldn't say it any better myself. This purple line means the potential for upside. The yellow line there means potential for upside. But we haven't seen confirmations just yet. So for the SPY, just so you're aware, hourly chart's going to be your friend for the SPY. I would say the same for IWM. I would say the same for DIA. When it comes to the Qs, I think the hourly chart can be your friend. And if you want extra confirmation, I love 2-hour charts. And this is, if the 2-hour can confirm, you might have yourself a daily upward move here, which would add some credibility to a run in early January. No, we haven't bottomed yet. You're right. That's why I haven't made a decision yet. Right? What I'm talking about are the things that would, you know, because that's what I'm trying to do, is talk about how I like to do things. That way maybe you can take something away from it and see if it plays out and then be like, oh, okay, that did end up working out. Okay, awesome. So maybe I'll start to learn a little bit more about that. So yeah, we're not saying this is a bottom yet. There's no confirmation that this is a bottom anywhere, but it has high potential to do so soon. And volatility is suggesting that can happen. We'll give it another minute, right? We'll give it another minute and then look at the next bar. And if that's coming dramatically down, getting past 1683, then yeah, it's very likely you're going to see some positivity in the SPY. Still doesn't mean it's bottomed, right? We could go make a 30-minute divergence. Are they? Max effort? I don't know. Bottom after the Wednesday non-trading day. Hey, Andy Kim, thank you guys so much for joining today. IWM cooking up a rocket ship. I think it might be. I think it might be. If we go look at IWM, it's holding up better than a lot of the other indices, actually, as far as today goes. Obviously, by the way, just obviously, it's not holding up better overall. But as far as the price action for the last, I would say, week, this is holding up pretty well, and all I got to see is, hey, does that hourly curl up? That's the divergence, the hourly chart, and then I'll manage risk. Who do I like for this? I like Tina, my girl. That's my girl, Tina. My girl, Tina over here, pretty hot. She's got small caps, but a great personality. Nobody? Not one giggle? No giggle in the chat? God dang it, I gotta work on my jokes. Who's actually being trapped if we bounce? Bears. Now here's the LOL. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. I sat down and I wrote out that joke for hours over the weekend. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's who's going to be trapped? Well, there's always someone getting trapped, just so you're aware. This happens to be a bear trap. So this would be people really going towards the put side are going to get trapped. That would be the most likely thing. Now, the only thing that's bad about this and why this is a little bit sketchy this time is the dollar is moving up still. But there you go, volatility. This is saying, hey, the 2-hour is very likely to cross down in 30 minutes if we can confirm a negative bar right here. I'm so confused. Bears are people who say things are going to head down. We are saying this is a bear trap, meaning this could be a potential opportunity for bulls for the stock to go up. Your wife would not like that joke. My wife would. My wife understands me so well, Tree Ghost. Yeah, we were talking about this. We were talking about this over the weekend, man. Market has to go up if it's a bull trap. Did I write bull trap on accident? Like, am I losing my mind? The title says bear trap. It's a bear trap. Am I losing my mind here? My title says bear trap. I don't get what's happening. This is, yeah, I'm just, oh God, I'm just so confused. No one's old enough to know that joke. Yeah, okay. Yes, there is. So if you go back and watch our last video, this would be considered the bull trap, right? But this liquidity is what can be the bull trap. Sorry. So this would be bull trap. This is bear trap. This is bull trap testing the breakdown area. This is bear trap, right? Bull trap, bear trap, bull trap, bear trap. A lot of traps. That's why trading like water is a good thing. So when you're in a bear trap, it's good to be bullish. When you're in a bull trap, it's good to be bearish. Now, this one was a little bit more complex, so I understand that. So that'd be considered a bounce. Yeah, a bear trap here would consider a bounce, right? This would say this is likely to bounce, but we don't have the signals to say this is a bottom yet. No, okay. I don't know if there's earwax in there. I'm saying things very clearly that this is a bear trap and it could be an opportunity. That's it. All right, wash everything I've said if I said something wrong. A bear trap usually means you don't want to be bearish or else you're going to get trapped. A bounce is how the trap is really confirmed, right? Because if we bounce, then you would say that is a bear trap. So this was forming a bear trap, and then we bounced. I think I'm getting it. I think I'm really saying this could be it. I think I'm saying things right. No divergence for a bear trap? Not on the shortest time frames if you're a day trader. But on my position style trading, this is saying, yeah, this is a trap. On my weekly and monthly moves, it's saying trap. SPY, back in the monthly expected move. You are right, Richard. Don't we love monthly expected moves? Now, this could still be really, really bad. We just want to see those confirmations at the end of the week. If this does not do that, that's going to be rough. But we know that, hey, if the 30-minute wants to make some signals here, it could do this. But if the 2 hour is able to confirm up, that would be a good sign. That's why we really like to look at the Qs right now. I'm losing my mind today. I'm losing my mind over here with this conversation. Nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills. I'm looking for the bear trap to be formed, and then once it confirms is when I will say there is a higher probability that this is a bear trap, right? I'm more so talking about how this has potential to be a bear trap. We haven't seen the signals confirm to say, like, we're going to see a rip up to actually trap the bears, if that makes sense. So I think for the early part of the week, I would say in the next 2 trading sessions, Chungus, I would say in the first 2 trading sessions, we'll probably know if this is a bear trap or not. Does that make sense? This was funny. Hey, at least we're having fun today. IWM, right? This would be the bear trap confirmation, would be the hourly. Now that would say there's a high probability that this is a bear trap. The way that you know that's a bear trap, though, is if you actually see the bounce, right? We have to see the prolonged bounce. So if you're a bear, you want stuff to drop. If you're a bear, you want stuff to drop, and it's kind of going the wrong way right now, isn't it? If you're a bear, you might be sweating this big bounce here. This little bar right here might actually still make you sweat. But you probably like the fact that the dollar is going up. For the rest of the day for the SPY and the Qs, I think you're going to see a retest probably of 590.59, and then we'll find out if we're going back into the zone and this is a trap, or we're going to see if this is rejecting to form a bigger one. It's going my way. It can go your own way. I don't know that song too well, but looking for the hourly to turn up for the SPY. I still want a 2 hour confirmation for the Qs, but so it's very likely the Qs, as they're the closest, this is the thing we need to be paying attention to probably first. It might not be, natural born nerd. It might not be. But here's the thing. Does that mean we have to go get it right now? Or could we set another trap later on? Right. This could be this. Look at this. And then we go like this. And then you go, oh my gosh, that was a bear trap. And then that crosses down into negative territory and you go, oh, there's the bull trap. Right there. So I think that's less likely. Just because I think it doesn't mean it's true, right? I tune in just for the singing. That's exactly what you have charted. Hey, that's sick. Being at the neckline of a head and shoulders, yeah, Do you know how often? Okay, let me look at this. Let's pull up something here. Oh, we're typing over here. I can type fast, homies. So the key thing to understand about Head and Shoulders is it plays out in a million different ways. So like this Head and Shoulders, you could call this Head and Shoulders right here, right? I could call this Head and Shoulders, right? I call this Head and Shoulders. Already dropped down, right? So we'll see if that can continue, and that's perfectly fine if it continues. You guys, we're also just trying to keep things very simple for us. I think this is a really simple week, and people are asking a ton of stuff and talking about a ton of things, and I'm just like, we're at a weekly move, and you see an hourly divergence. I'm at a weekly move, I see a 2-hour divergence. What does that mean? It means that the daily, this actually could be a base. It's just more like a bear market base. Give me one moment, guys. Let me use the restroom. I'll be right back. And then I got to type some more stuff. Give me one moment. I know. I was a camel the other day, but today I just got to go to the bathroom real quick. Holy crap. Be right back. Yeah, it doesn't have to go down right now. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying we could see this. People are like, because people are really convinced it's going to go down right now. So wouldn't we see a bounce and then be like, oh yeah, it's going to go up, and then it tears down? We have too much fear, I think. Be right back. Bruce, stop. Bruce loves Ari. I got the baby. I got the baby. Right. Ruff. You go ruff. No buying stocks. We're not buying. No, we're not buying Toys R Us. All right, so we're seeing that upward move. Good pressure. We got baby girl here watching stocks with us today. Oh my gosh, so many colors and lights and stuff. Here, let's take this off. Oh goodness. Ooh. You want to touch? Sure you want to touch. And back to Poots. He's going back to the Poots. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Volatility now confirming in 17 minutes. This is something I would keep my eye on. Now you got to make sure this is continuing. You can always manage risk and things like that. Yeah. Does Dad look silly wearing his headphones? Touch. Touch. You hold on to something? Here, you can hold on to this. Oh my goodness, how fun is that? How fun is that? Oh goodness. You're like, I'm not allowed down here. Hope everyone's catching these battles. Yeah, it still might be work to be done, right? We do have, like, if you look at micros, they're trying to go positive, but you could see that next dip down. Right, if we look at micros, we could see another dip down. You're far away from the center line here. A little far away from the center line here. No, she's just on my lap right now. Are you trying to type stuff? You want to chart some stock? Should we teach you how to chart stuff? Should we teach you how to swing trade? You want to learn how to swing trade? No, you can't have my coffee. No, she really likes her walker. Ooh. You give them a woof. Woof. Or can you say, what do you like to say? You like to say moo. Yeah. Oh, you saying touch? Oh yeah, you want to touch stuff? Okay. Chug the coffee. So yeah, some things we're paying attention to, guys. I might have to hop off here, but just something to keep your eye on over the next few minutes is if this wicks up, if this is able to confirm down, the SPY looking like, hey, it's in the buy zone. Is the timing done? Well, we need, we really need to see things actually confirm. You got to be waiting for confirmations because this could be a bigger drop, right? This could be a 32% time. It's just early on in the week, so it is very probable to be a trap, but you want that confirmed, and I think hourly charts are pretty great to do that today, especially for IWM, DIA, and the SPY. I really like DIA able to hold up there. SPY, don't hit spacebar. You're gonna make me change stocks. Yeah, so that's really what I'd be paying attention to. I will have to hop off. I'm taking care of baby girl for a little bit, but we will be live tomorrow morning. We will be putting up a YouTube video tonight, so thank you so much for all the donations. If you guys want to, check out the course down in the description to learn how I'm kind of looking into this, why I think this is a trap. I think you'll understand it a lot better after you take the course, just because you'll really start to understand what these type of lines are, like what they actually mean. And then you'll be able to be like, okay, if I find a reversal signal around there, it is a good thing. So have a great day, guys, right? Keep your risk managed, trade like water, and we will be just fine. All right, peace out, homies. Actually, I'm gonna put you guys on the Qs. I think the Qs were a little bit more important there. I like the Qs look here. All right, guys, see you later. Have a good day.